and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, aka Beck. As always, you know we love hearing from y'all. Comments, stories, ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to benradioshow@gmail.com. Ride along shotgun, as always, the co-host, producer, sound engineer, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, yes, this is the month of June. June is National Outdoors Month, right? So whether we're celebrating our dads, our family, we're going to weddings, we're going to bridal showers, baby showers, it doesn't matter. It seems like there's a lot going on outdoors. But if you're into farming and ranching, or say you work shift work, sometimes I think it's a little hard to make it to all of those events. Wouldn't you say, Tigger?
Or maybe to celebrate Father's Day that's coming up here in, a little bit.
Right, exactly. So how do you still make those moments special versus sitting there hoping Amazon quickly drops a gift just in time?
Shop local.
You got it. I love it. Shop local. Or another idea, like I keep saying, do something special with that person. But again, they might tell you they're in the field. They're still finishing up planting. They're on their cutting
hay or something, hauling cows or whatever.
Yes, they're AIing. Who knows what could be going on? Here's the other deal. Go to where they are at, meaning jump in the tractor, ride around with them. How about this one? Bring lunch out to the field. I know.
Beck.
This is something that used to happen back in the day. Our parents, grandparents used to do this.
That was pretty common. They used to, that people would bring lunch to the fields, and you would take a little break and sit in the shade, and it was always really good, too.
My mom used to do that. If she wasn't in the field, too, running a different piece of machinery, yes, we headed out to the field in our station wagon with the card table in the back.
Station wagon.
Yes, it was. The lawn chairs. I mean, this is bouncing around.
National Lampoon's Vacation, that is, coming to mind.
Yes. 3 kids and a dog in a station wagon going out to the hayfield.
So did you stop and shut the tractor down and whatever you were doing and actually just stop and eat and just relax, even if it was maybe 15 minutes?
Yes. That's the thing we did. My dad did understand the importance of that. So we always made sure he did. And I was honestly not that long ago trying to find that old photo, because we have an old photo of all of us, even with our old farm dog, Odie, in the picture.
Odie, that's funny.
Yeah, in front of the swather with the picnic table. And
you went to the extremes of picnic table.
Yeah.
We would just kind of sit in the shade.
Oh, sure.
The shade of the tractor cab. But we were the same way. We actually relaxed and took a break. I think that's the key word there, is just instead of taking a little, you take a break.
Yes.
And have some vittles.
Yes.
There you go.
And then it's always funny how those stories come about. That's when I think our parents, our other friends, family members around us really appreciate, because you know what? There's a lot to be said about the good conversations that happen around a meal, wherever it could be. Changing gears. Now that it is, June, and as I mentioned, Outdoors Month, there are a lot of barbecues happening, cookouts about to happen, outdoor activities that you're going to get invited to. But have you ever thought about the etiquette that goes along with attending said functions?
So you're gearing this towards me, apparently, because you've been teaching me that there are these unwritten rules, per se, that go along with when you are invited to a party, to a barbecue, to a social function. A lot of times that involves food.
Yes. And some of these, can be bent to the rules a little bit, but I don't think it's a bad thing to kind of bring light to the etiquette side of it and talk about it, because they're kind of the unspoken rules. And as times are changing, pocketbooks are getting, the discretionary income just isn't there like it used to be. So people are saving some money here and there. You might see some differences also in the invites you receive. So let's jump into this one. For example, you know that there is a barbecue happening next door down the street, X, Y, or Z. You were not personally invited by the host. You do not just show up.
What?
I know.
That's dumb.
Okay, all right. You and I did grow up in an area where we didn't know wedding crashing wasn't a thing until the movie came out 20 years ago.
That.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we still do that.
We wedding crashed. If you think back, we always wedding crashed the dances, and we still do this to this day. But you don't crash the meal because the meal is really expensive.
Right. You don't do that.
Tigger. You are totally getting the eye look
so,
right
I mean,
now.
Is it okay if you know them, though? I mean, or I guess I see your point, where maybe it's a private function with family. You don't know what's going on of the reason to get together. Maybe
Here's
you just don't
a great
stop in
example, okay? I have a cousin that's getting married here in the very near future. It's my cousin's daughter, okay? We are all fairly close. However, the wedding venue, it's an outdoor venue. They're only allowed a certain amount of people for the meal. Now, names had to be cut. I'm from a family with 10 aunt and uncles alone. Take that times 2, that adds up fast when you're only allowed a certain amount of people. They felt bad not including you and I being in the invitation. I said, no worries. I understand. It's expensive. And if you're only allowed a certain amount of people, that's all you're allowed.
Are we still sending them money? I want a meal.
Changing subjects. We're not talking about how much money we're sending anybody right now, okay?
Okay, barbecue edit. Let's go.
All right. Same goes to if you are invited to said function. Do not bring extra people without having prior approval.
Oh, I can agree with that one.
You see, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Because you're planning, yeah.
I mean, I can understand. It could be bent the rule a little bit. Say, for example, you've got family from out of state here. They just happen to show up when this event is happening. Either A, you can send them off to go do something fun in your backyard, as I call it, in your town, go check out while you go to your function you're invited to. Or if it isn't that many people, you know the host of said party, you can kindly ask them, is it okay if I bring whoever? But then make sure you also bring a gift or bring something to compensate for the extra people.
Okay,
Following me, Tigger? You can agree with that one? That comes with the next one. You always ask, what to bring.
This was a hard one for me, I think, because for so many years I was just a loner by myself, and I would get invited, and I didn't know that
you were supposed to bring something.
You were supposed to bring something.
You showed up empty-handed every time.
It was just my presence that was the gift, Beck. It was my personality, my charisma, my charm. I'm losing this battle. Carry on. What else you got?
Do you hear the dead silence?
Well, now I've learned. Now we got to bring something. Yes. How many people are saying, I can't believe he did that?
I know. So no matter what, always ask if I need to bring anything. And even if the answer is no, bring a bag of chips at the minimum. Okay, still bring something. Tigger knows that a lot of times I will at least bring a bottle of wine. It doesn't have to be super expensive, just something as a gesture to that host, because they go through a lot of work to plan.
And normally when there's all that food, you get a kind of a sample plate. Everybody does at the end of the night, because there's always, it seems like there's a lot, right? So a lot of times you get sent home with some bars and cookies and a little bit from what everybody brought.
Correct. That could happen. We're going to get into that towards the end of the show.
Oh, that could happen.
But right now, I think this is a good time to take a quick break. And
this etiquette apparently is for me. I had no idea I'm not doing it right.
We're changing gears.
Go to break.
Fishing enthusiast or not in June, it really doesn't matter, because there's not a bad place to toss a line. After this short break, pro angler Johnnie Campbell is going to talk fishing and have us all tossing a line. This is The Ben Show. We'll be back right after this.
Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit MedoraBoot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to MedoraBoot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
In the field, on the farm, or in the saddle, we're right there with you in your pocket, on your phone, and everywhere you go. RFD TV Now, current ag reports, geo-targeted weather, live streaming 24/7, and our full collection of shows you love at the tip of your finger. At less than $10 a month, it's the cheapest tool on the farm. Download the app today and start watching RFD TV now.
Welcome back. As Beck would say, you never know what's going to be coming around the bend. It could be the crazy stories that she comes up with. It could be tips and tricks. It could be hacks. It could be like adding a new professional to our team. Yeah, on our staff, we've got Johnnie Campbell, who is a professional angler and fishing guide. I mean, the man, if there's a body of water, I guarantee the man knows how to fish it. It is great to have Johnnie on the team. So, Johnnie, I know you're going to be visiting with us here, going forward, giving us updates. So let's just let's get to know you and find out how you got in the tournament fishing business and what you're up to today.
Born and raised in Northeast Ohio, got a marketing degree from the University of Akron after high school. My father started a Lake Erie charter boat service the year I graduated high school, so I kind of started that with him and helped him grow that business till I discovered tournament fishing. And then I moved away from Ohio to North Dakota in the fall of 1996. Moved to Devil's Lake, and I've been there ever since. So spent 30 years traveling the country as a professional tournament angler, and 2 years ago decided that was enough of that, right? I lost the spark, right? The competitive juices just weren't there anymore. Being a competitive athlete from 5 years old, playing Little League baseball all the way through till I was 51 years old as a tournament angler. That's just a lot of years of competing. And I still loved the fishing part, but I had to force myself to get excited to tournament fish, right? It's like, I don't have to prove anything anymore. I don't care if I win this tournament or not. And that's a good way to lose all your tournaments, right? So I hung that up and focused more on the guiding, and in the last few years have established a little guide service down in the Gulf of Mexico in the Florida Panhandle. So I now winter in a little town called Carabel, Florida, guide down there for 3 months in the winter, and then spend about 2 months on the road seminar speaking in the spring, and then guide in Devil's Lake all summer and do it again in the winter down south. So that's Johnnie Campbell in a minute docu-series there.
Right. So what's your specialty? Is it the walleyes that's your specialty, or if it is?
Yeah, I guide predominantly for walleye in Devil's Lake. I don't travel to guide on other bodies of water. I only guide on Devil's Lake. And then when it comes to Florida, it's any saltwater fish that I can get a hook in their mouth. I don't focus on any one species down there just because there's too many things to catch, right? It's the ocean.
So will you go after other species of fish? I just like being out there, and I don't care if I catch a fish or not.
I still do a lot of seminar speaking, and at most of my seminars, before I really get into the topic at hand, I will make a comment about you go fishing to catch fish and I go fishing to catch fish, but I don't care what kind they are. I don't. I guide predominantly walleye, maybe some pike, maybe some perch and white bass on Devil's Lake, but I'm driving to Lake Skakawea right now. And after Lee and I are done filming our weekly tips, I'm smallmouth bass fishing for 2 days. That's what I'm coming over here for, because I like the variety. I love feeling something pull back on the end of my fishing line, and I really don't care what it is. As long as there's something pulling back, I'm having a good time.
And we're getting to know Johnnie Campbell here because we're going to be getting updates periodically. Well, I'm throwing you under the bus. We're going to get updates all the time. Johnnie, you don't have a choice now. You're now in the fold. You're riding with the brand here on this. And we just wanted to introduce all of you to Johnnie. And, for example, I agree with you when you say, it does matter if you catch a fish, because I go out there with the intention that I want to nail something. I want to bring something back, and not just one or two. I want to get my limit. That's why I'm going out there.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things I can do outside that are enjoyable that don't involve fishing, and they're a lot cheaper than fishing. And as much as the competitive juices may have stopped flowing for me, the grading yourself by some kind of metric to determine whether you were successful or not hasn't gone away. And in fishing, the measure is, did I catch or not? And if you didn't catch, to me, you weren't successful. So I go out there with one goal in mind, and that's to have something grab on to whatever lure I'm fishing with and get it over the gunnel of my boat. And that's a success.
And we are certainly going to be diving in the weeds. No pun intended on this one, but we are going to be, throwing it in the weeds and going very in detail in the future as we go along, of course. But just kind of generally speaking, fishing to me, it's been a tough one to try to master. And I know that you're going to say, I am by no means a master. I'm still a student trying to learn and understand because, everybody's got their own theories, right, about weather and this and that. And some of those statistically, I guess, if you, like you said, use a matrix and you keep track of something, you can statistically say my chances are better of A, B, C, and D. But you got to admit, Johnny, even though that you've been in this game for a long, long, long time at every single level you can possibly be, it still is, I hate to say it, it's fishing, and it could be a hit or miss situation.
There is a lot of luck involved with fishing. We do everything we can to remove that little bit of margin of luck, right? I mean, let's take a look at the way equipment and technology have advanced over the years. Fishing rods, fishing reels, fishing line, right? It's no longer that thick, heavy, coiled, fluorescent blue monofilament. We're using line that is as thin as human hairs and telegraphs every little tick of a lure hitting something or a fish biting. And a marine electronics sonar. I'm a Humminbird guy. I've got live sonar, directional sonar, 360 degree sonar, GPS. These fish can't hide anymore. So we're trying to narrow the part of fishing that is luck. But when you stop and think about it, you're in a lake like Devil's Lake, North Dakota, or Lake Sakakawea that are hundreds of thousands of acres, or even a farm pond somewhere in Iowa that's only 150 acres, but you're throwing a lure that's 3 inches long on a rod and reel, and it covers, 6 square inches on a cast, if you think about it. Mm-hmm. There's still some luck that a fish sees that lure, and then they like that lure, and then they like that lure enough to put it in their mouth and try to eat it as food. And that will never go away. I'm fortunate enough to make a living so far in the fishing world. So it's been a great ride.
Johnnie Campbell, so happy to have you as part of our field staff and your weekly updates where you're going to share with us tips and tricks and successes and failures that you've had on the water. So, again, so glad to have you aboard and welcome to the team. Now, more information on Johnnie Campbell, go to his website. It's johnnycandle.com, and it's JOHNNIE Candle, JOHNNIECANDLE.com, johnnycandle.com, or check him out on Facebook. And if you have questions for Johnny's, very specific questions about what to use, when to use, how to use it, where to use it, just fire them our direction and we will make sure that we pass them along to Johnny. Again, so glad to have you as part of the crew. Hey, stay with us. And as Beck would say, you never know what's going to be coming up around the bend when we come back.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the Shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
The hunt is planned, the guide is booked, the trip is blocked off in the calendar, but one huge detail remains, preserving that trophy, creating a memory that will last a lifetime. Little Rack Taxidermy has that fast, friendly service to fulfill your taxidermy in a timely, professional manner. Reach out to Heather with Little Rack Taxidermy through Facebook at Little Rack Taxidermy or send an email to heatherjoe23@hotmail.com. Little Rack Taxidermy, bringing back the natural look.
Shooting ducks, skinning bucks, I'm a hunting princess in a pickup truck.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. Right along shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, at the beginning of the show, we were tackling this, the etiquette for attending those cookouts, barbecues, maybe outdoor wedding functions, any of those gatherings you're getting invited to this time of year, the unspoken rules that I just felt like, you know what, we should dive down the rabbit hole on these and clarify a few of them. One of them, before we, in the first part of the show, in case you missed this, Tigger didn't realize when I said if you are invited to something, and even if you have asked, you should always ask. Don't forget to ask what you should bring to said event. He didn't realize, A, he should ask if he should bring anything. B, he didn't realize he should still bring something even if he is told no. You're still quiet over there.
Yep.
Are you?
Because I'm assuming a lot of this next little bit is for me, too.
Here's the other thing. Okay, so as I said, bring something and plan on bringing something that you intentionally will leave behind. Often, even if we are said or asked to bring, it could be a bag of chips, it could be a salad. Tigger and I will still typically always, thanks that now that I'm in his life, we will bring a bottle of wine.
That's kind of our thing, is to bring some wine.
Yes.
And good wine, not the, cheap stuff that somebody gave you. We'll give good stuff.
What he means is we're not bringing him a box of wine. The good old boxed wine. It's in a bottle, okay?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
With a cork. But yes, because just remember, that host, that family, whoever is hosting or holding this event, they did put a lot of time and effort into it.
And a lot of money into it. It's expensive to host.
It is not cheap. It is not cheap whatsoever. So on the flip side, listen to this. If you have not contributed financially to the event, you are not entitled to leave with anything wrapped in aluminum foil or in a Tupperware container. So don't think you're going to automatically get to have a goodie bag to go home with.
They sent me home with stuff, Beck. It's not my fault. I was by myself. They felt bad. They sent me home with stuff.
Again,
I was a bachelor.
Again, if they gave it to you, then absolutely yes. But don't show up with your own Tupperware and be like, I'm going to start filling my containers. You got more food than you need to. Because
I know it wasn't buffet style. I get it. But they sent it home with me. And I ate it and I loved it.
I'm just saying, all right? Just don't automatically think you're going home with a doggy bag from said barbecue.
I was a bachelor, Beck. Come on. I was trying to survive.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. All right. Another thing on this one is, we're still talking about it, is remember, everyone has rules at their houses, so be respectful, okay? If you notice when you come in the house, people's shoes are taken off, take off your shoes to go use the bathroom. Do not leave them on because maybe your house, you leave your shoes on.
I like my shoes on.
Yeah, him and I have this debate in our own house.
I've gotten good about this, though. You have reminded me to pay attention to that because you and I grew up in very different households when it comes to that rule and that etiquette.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Also, when you are at a function like this, like we said, it gets expensive. So if you look at the sodas or something that's being offered, this is not the time to go and say, I only drink Coke versus Pepsi. This is not your time to go and maybe give a glance because maybe they use an off-brand, a general brand of sodas or X, Y, or Z.
But most bring their own beverage anyway.
A lot of parties are BYOB these days. So really, that's just, I shouldn't even have to bring that up. But here's another one. Especially, we've talked about water, bottles of water. Finish your bottle of water before you go grab another one.
Oh, that's a great one.
I mean,
so
come on.
you're not throwing a bunch away and there's not.
Why?
Okay,
Why
right.
waste it? You leave it. Just you drink that bottle of water.
Put your name on it on the glass. That's another one that I like. When you got all those solo cups, put your name on the thing so you know which one is yours.
You got it. And that's all, folks, for this week. We're going to call this show wrapped. Thank you, as always, to my co-host and producer, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Also, thank you to Johnnie Campbell, 25-plus year veteran professional angler, for joining our crew here on The Ben Show. We look forward to your tips, tricks, and field updates, Johnny. And crew, be sure to check out JohnnieCandle.com. That's Johnny spelled JOHNNIE, candle.com for tips or to book a trip with this pro. Remember, as always, we love hearing from you, especially your area's field reports. You can call or text us anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can email bendradioshow@gmail.com. If you missed part of this show or want to hear past shows, head to our website, thebendshow.com. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or The Ben Show YouTube channel. Thank you to our partners, Ditali Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, Toxic Calls, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all you listeners out there that came along. Whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Ben Show on Facebook and on Instagram. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Ben.